All right, let's get to the phone lines. I think we have finally made contact. Coach Roy Sembach of the Newton Falls Tigers joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Coach, how are you today, sir?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm good now that we finally got you to get through to us. Hey, it probably was as difficult getting through to us or getting on our phone lines as it was to get past Liberty last night. What a great win for you guys.
It was a great win. We've had two unbelievable victories against the Leopards this year. So they're very hard to explain, but we'll certainly take them for sure.
You guys were down by down 4 with 20 seconds left in the game. You were down 58-54. Take us through the final 20 seconds and the crazy ending that you guys had.
Okay, even before that, we were down 58-52 with like 40 seconds to go, and they missed a foul shot. We fouled them pretty much intentionally to hope they would miss. They did. And Joey Klein took it to the basket and got fouled. So with 40 seconds to go, he made two foul shots to make it 58-54. And then we got a steal, and the 22nd Josh Honeycutt drove to the basket. He got fouled. The shot almost went in, but didn't. So at the foul line, he made the first to make it 58-55, but missed the second. And we pressed off of the missed free throw, and Nick Rapsack deflected the ball from behind, and then Josh Honeycutt got the steal, and he drove in and scored to make it 58-57 with 6.7 seconds left, and we called timeout at that point. And we set up where we wanted to deny the inbounds pass, switch all screens. We did not put a man on the ball. We wanted to have a guy back in case they tried to throw the ball long. And, of course, if we got the steal, great. If not, we were going to foul right away. Well, we did a great job of switching on the denial. They did send someone long. We had a guy back, so they didn't have that. So they just were looking to get it in. They threw it up over the one kid's head, and Joey Klein came up and stole it and drove it, took it right to the basket, and put it in with a couple seconds to go, and we had a 1-point victory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, you play defense, you play solid defense, and I love the fact that a lot of coaches would have put a body on the inbounder. You guys chose not to, and that's a great decision because you get an extra defender to possibly double team someone or to play safety, if you will, using a football term, to make sure that they can go one direction or the other and try to pick the pass off.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought on that. A lot of times you have a really big kid who can bother the inbounder and just make it difficult to see and get the ball in. It's a good idea to put a man on the ball, but we just thought with yesterday, we just thought our better chances, because we needed a full denial. We couldn't let the ball in, and it'd be easy to go over the top if we didn't have anybody back. So we thought we should put one back so we could take that away, and it worked out. We could do it 10 more times, and it might not work at all, but it worked perfectly when it needed to.
Newton Falls head basketball coach Roy Sembach joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Coach, I'm a big fan of the Newton Falls program. Year in, year out, you guys have developed some great basketball at Newton Falls. Talk about the tradition of playing basketball at Newton Falls High School.
Well, I think it all starts. We've had two coaches in 65 years. Gene Zorn, my predecessor, who I played for and coached under, was there for 31 years, and this is my 34th year. So we've had great continuity at the school. And, we've built a winning tradition. We've had a winning season, I believe, 14 years in a row and 22 out of 23 years, so something like that, give or take a year one way or the other. And with that, the kids take a lot of pride in developing and becoming players. We've always had camps for kindergarten kids through 9th grade every summer for the past 20-some years, minus this year because of COVID. We were not able to do that. So the kids, they work. It's a program that's not a transfer program. We don't get a lot of kids coming in from other places or anything like that. It's my staff, which does a great job, do our best to develop kids from a young age and work on the fundamentals and we kind of have a family atmosphere. Like when you could go to games, our campers and young kids would come to the games, and our varsity kids know who they are and talk to them. And on the other hand, we have alumni who come back all the time, come to our games. They come to our practices and help. And it's we hope we've created a real family atmosphere with Newton Falls basketball, and we take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, it's a basketball factory. I mean, you guys, your success has been incredible year in and year out. And I love the fact that you've developed the program into the kindergarten level, as far back as the kindergarten level. And I think there's so many schools that really aren't doing that. And that's the reason why they're not maximizing their abilities, because you're not getting those kids to fall in love with the game that early in life. Because when you do this, you're going to have kids that are going to be passionate about playing basketball when they get into 4th and 5th and 6th grade and then into junior high basketball.
Yeah, I think so. That can go both ways as well, too. Sometimes you can be a little overzealous, and maybe you do too much, and they get tired of it and maybe burn out. But if you keep it fun for them, I think that's very important to make sure it's a good experience, it's a fun experience, and you don't overdo it. When you introduce them to some things and have fun with it, then yes, they want to keep. You always want to have that where they want to come back for more, and as long as they do that, that's a good thing. I think schools that do have programs where they develop year after year, that really helps, because we're not able to do like some schools do, where it doesn't matter who they have up through their 8th grade or what they do. They just go out and find the best players for places in the area, and they play on their teams, and that makes it a lot easier. I think this is more special this way, a lot more fun, and a lot more meaningful when you basically you develop a kid, and you know that kid for basically their whole life, from kindergarten and then after high school. You know them and have a good, nice, positive relationship with people. That's a great reason for coaching, for the relationships, not necessarily the winning and losing, but the relationships and helping a kid develop, get better at basketball, get better at life, and having that relationship for their entire life.
Coach, I had Aaron Blatch on, the head girls basketball coach at Crestview, yesterday, and he was remarking on how great the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference great tier is in girls basketball. You can make the same argument for boys basketball. My goodness, is it a fun league. I mean, you got Newton Falls, a really good Liberty team that you knocked off last night. LaBrae is outstanding. Brookfield is fantastic. On a given night, Crestview can play with just about anyone. And it's going to get better with Garrettsville Garfield coming into the league next year. The MVAC, both gray and scarlet tier, turning into a really good basketball conference.
Yeah, it's really competitive. I mean, that's on any given night, any team can win, and that's what it makes it fun that way as well too. If you have somebody that's super dominant, or you have a couple teams that just can't beat anybody, that's not as fun. But yeah, it's been a very competitive league this year. You're right, Garfield coming in. They've had a lot of success in the past few years. They're going to make it even better and more fun.
And obviously, this is going to make every single team really strong going into the tournament. You're going to be tournament tested. I don't think there's any two ways about that.
For sure, we all are. And the tournament, I mean, most of us are in that Division III tournament, which now basically breaks down into two different brackets. And there's going to be so many games that you could almost flip a coin on who's going to win. Which again, it's a shame we won't be able to have a lot of fans, because I think you're going to see a lot of really close, hard-fought tournament games in the next weeks here.
I'm going to ask, and we have Coach Roy Sembach on from Newton Falls on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. And, I don't know if this is going to be a yearly thing or not. I don't know if this is something that the Northeastern Ohio Board has just thrown a feeler out. But what do you make of the new tournament format for this year?
You mean as far as
the two districts combining into one? What do you make of this?
I'm old-fashioned, and I like the old way. I mean, the complete old way, where you teams from you had 12, anywhere from 12 to 16 or 17 teams from one little area played, because you all kind of knew each other pretty well. And I also liked when you went to a place to play. Whether that there were host sites instead of even the home games are nice when you have them, but I still like the old way. This way, it's not too bad because they basically combined us with the Salem tournament, so it's still mostly local teams, and we avoided getting some of those superpowers that from the Cleveland area to be hooked up with. But it's hard to seed because you don't see every team, you don't know every team, and seeding is really difficult. I wish if they were going to do it like this, they would kind of do seeding like football. That's not a perfect way, but at least it's a fair way, and it might be a little bit better. But I mean, overall, since we're hooked up pretty much with the Salem district combined, I don't think it's too bad. I still prefer the other way, where if you're the best team in your little area, you get a chance to win something. I don't know if they're going to continue this or not. This is a Northeast Board decision, and I'm sure they can revisit it, but who knows what'll happen with that.
It seems to me that it's going to be a little more challenging for the coaches when it comes to scouting teams because, well, you're going to be playing the same time as everyone else when the tournament starts on Tuesday night. All the games are going to start at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's kind of been that way for the past couple of years. That's what I don't like about that. I like the old-fashioned way where most recently, all of our games would be like at Howland, and everybody be playing at a different time. And it was just kind of nice to go and see everybody play, whether you were scouting or even if you had lost and were done, just to mingle with the other coaches and get to see all the teams. I don't like that. Yeah, everybody plays at the same time. Now with video and everything like that, it's not too much of a trouble to find video on who you're going to play and be able to scout that way. But just miss being able to go out and see other teams play on tournament basketball.
Well, I'll even go back a step further and go back years and years and years ago. I remember when we would have, and I graduated from Leetonia, so we were in the Tri-County League. I remember when we used to have the Tri-County League preview where all 8 teams would be playing on the same night on the court of the defending champs, and everyone would play 2 quarters. You'd play the first quarter against one team, the second quarter against another team, and everyone got an opportunity to play 2 quarters. I thought it was a fantastic idea. I wish it would be revisited as early as next year.
Right, we did that back in the days when I played. We were in the Trumbull AA League, and even at first, when I first started coaching, we had a league preview, and it was at a predetermined site. It wasn't necessarily who won the league the year before, and the other difference is we would just play one team for 2 quarters, but all 8 teams in the league, there'd be 4 different halves of basketball. It was a nice way to start the season, and usually it was a nice little money maker for the league as well, too, as a lot of people attended that to get their first look at basketball in the year.
Roy Sembach, the head basketball coach of the Newton Falls Tigers, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. I had a coach call or get a hold of me today, and his program has struggled for a lot of years, and he finally sat back and said, we've got a focus that we're now adopting. You don't necessarily have to shoot well to win. You have to play defense and rebound. And I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? That's a great idea because you can score 70 points, but if you don't play defense, you're going to wind up losing 72, 73, 74 to 70. If you play solid defense, box out and get the defensive rebound and prevent the other team from getting a second and third look and crash the boards on the offense, you got a really good chance at winning a ball game.
Well, we tell our kids it's defense first. I think, especially in high school basketball, it's easier to play good defense than it is to play good offense. There are not too many LeBron James or Michael Jordans, guys who you can do everything you can to stop them, and they're still going to score. In high school, if you play great defense, you can shut teams down, and defense ends with the rebound. You got to be able to do both those things. And if you play great defense, I think you're always going to have a chance to win. If you can hold teams down into the 40s and the low 50s, you're going to have a shot. In fact, we do tell our teams defense determines whether we win or not. and offense determines by how much. If you play great defense and you still struggle at the offensive end, you got a chance to win. If you play great defense and you shoot it really well and handle the ball well, then you're going to win by a lot. So, yeah, I think in high school basketball even, it's true probably with all levels. The NBA probably doesn't get enough credit for the defense they do play because how good those guys are offensively. But I think defense is what is probably the main ingredient in winning games and winning championships.
Coach, how tough is it to tell a kid in this world in which we're living in, the three-point shot and looking at college and the NBA and seeing all kinds of offense being played, how tough is it for a coach to sit a kid down and say, look, you're going to have to play solid defense if you're going to get minutes on my basketball team?
Well, I don't think it is that hard because of what you just said. They know they have to do it to get minutes, and ultimately, kids, as much as they want to shoot, as much as they want to score, and they want the limelight like that, ultimately, most kids they want to win, and they want to know what it's going to take to win it. And we've kind of have the philosophy how we kind of play too. We make put such an importance on defense, and we as coaches really control our defense a whole lot, and then we tend to give them some freedom on offense too, to let them go and make decisions and put them in motion situations where they can be creative and things like that. So it's kind of a give and take with our team. You commit to doing this for us at this end, and we'll give you a little leeway at that end, and so that can be fun for you.
The tournaments will be starting on Tuesday. I mean, you got some unfinished business yet. You still have to place. You still have to play a game before the end of the regular season. And it's amazing to me that you guys are going to be able to get. You've got 17 right now. It's amazing to me you're going to be able to get 18 games in. Given the fact that the month of December was basically a shutdown month because you live in Trumbull County.
Yeah, and not only that, we got shut down with COVID when everybody else was allowed back. We didn't play a game until January 12th, which I believe in the entire Mahoning, Trumbull, Columbiana County area, I believe we were the very last team to play a game. And I have a group of seniors that are just really I love them, and I wanted to give them the opportunity to play as much as they could. And we even scheduled 22. Now, we've actually scheduled about 40 because some have been, canceled and rescheduled and so on. And we were playing 4 games a week, which a lot of people thought was crazy. And it was a little bit crazy. And we may have suffered a little bit there. And, plus when we got combined with some injuries, made it a little bit tougher. But, we were playing 4 a week, and then we got shut down again a week and a half ago as well, which now made it impossible to play all 22, but we've got the good portion of them in, and then, yes, we still got a very big one Saturday night with LaBrae, our arch rival, coming to our place with basically first place in the league on the line. So that's a very, in a crazy year, it'll be a very, very exciting way to close the regular season for us.
You picked up the 3rd seed in the D3 tournament, which I think is an unbelievable honor. You guys are in you're in the district with Cardinal Mooney. The bottom half of the bracket. You'll open up with East Palestine on Tuesday night, assuming you get a victory there. You would next play on Friday night against a familiar team, the team you just got done beating last night in Liberty, and the game would be played back at Newton Falls. It's no rest for the weary, Coach. This D3 tournament's no joke.
Right, and Liberty really would be gunning for us. I mean, the first time we played, we were down, and I'm not exaggerating, we were down 25 points with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And we were down 16 points with a minute 36 to go. And we won the game in double overtime. So they got a very sour taste in their mouth from that. And then they, outplayed us again last night for most of the game, and we came back and stole another one from us. So, Liberty, if we get to that game, they're going to feel very good about their chances, and we're going to have to make some adjustments and some improvements to be able to get by them. They're a very dangerous team for us.
Coach, before we let you go, and we're speaking with Roy Sembach, the head basketball coach of the Newton Falls Tigers on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. You've been around this game for most of your life. You've coached Newton Falls for a long, long time. What would you tell a person that wants to get into coaching or is just starting the journey of being a basketball coach, what advice would you give a young and upcoming coach?
Well, I think it's a very rewarding thing to do if you want to do it, and you've got to be able to make sure that you have time. If you're married or dating somebody steady, make sure there's somebody who likes what you're doing as well too, and going to be able to give you that time. I have a wonderful wife, Laura, and my kids are both always kind of been into the coaching stuff and love me doing that, so that helps. So you got to commit time, and probably just another very simple thing: sweat with your players. Go out there when you're doing things and show you care by working at practice, and let them see. If you expect them to work hard at their game and work hard to be good, let them see that you're working hard at it and that you have a passion for it as well. And then secondly, if you're lucky enough to get a head coaching job or anything, surround yourself with good people, people who know the game and are loyal people. I would not be coaching high school basketball still at this time if I didn't have an incredible staff. Mike Mazanet's my top assistant, does an incredible job, and we have others: Dan Rankin, Pat Harnicher, Craig Reynolds, and our junior high guys that I can I have confidence and trust in, that I don't have to do everything, and I delegate a lot of responsibilities. And that's another thing I would say too. So I see a lot of coaches, when they get a job, they kind of want to do everything. I mean, they're like coaching the JV game, they're coaching the junior high games, they're doing all that. Get some good people around you who can help you and make life easier that way. But it's if you have to have the time and you have the energy, it's a very rewarding profession and something I've really enjoyed doing for a long time. And as long as I continue to have good help with me, I still have no timetable on how long that I'll be able to do this.
Well, it's one of the best programs in our Mahoning Valley, and it's certainly a program that year in and year out, quality basketball, fundamentally sound basketball, and you're a big reason why. I'm a huge fan of yours and a huge fan of your program, sir.
Well, I appreciate it very much. We'll keep plugging away, and I appreciate the kind words.
And I was honored to call your guys' game against Crestview in Crestview, and I'm still blown away that Crestview was able to beat Newton Falls on the Rebels' home floor. That was a little surprising, Coach.
Yeah, especially with the start we got out to that night. Crestview's one of those teams. You talk about a veteran coach who does a great job. Rick Gates fits that bill. I mean, he's a really good man and a really good coach. And Crestview's just one of those teams that when you play them, the score is going to be 45-40. Whether you're a good team, an average team, or a bad team, it's going to be 45-40, and they might have the 45 or they might have the 40. They're just one of those teams that kind of uglies the game up a little bit, and plays this, not as many possessions in a game, and it always ends up being close. And in that game, we jumped out to a big lead, and they switched their defenses a little bit, and it bothered us. And we missed shots, and we had some really silly unforced turnovers, and that's what also hurt us last night against Liberty. We were given teams that we were talking about defense, we're actually giving up points at the offensive end of the floor to the other team. That you have to eliminate that. And when we came back and played Crestview the other night, we did a little bit better job when we got the lead, and they went to the same type of defense, and we handled the ball better, shot better, and got a victory. But in our league, anybody's good enough to beat anybody. Crestview's also beat LaBrae once and lost to them once, so you just never know.
Yeah, it's familiarity in this league. If Crestview can get past United, they'll see LaBrae in a sectional title game. It's just, I love the fact that the MVAC Gray and Scarlet tier are going to be alive and well in the D3 and D4 tournaments, and it's going to make the D3 and D4 tournaments that much more fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. It's teams are familiar with each other too. It makes it's tougher to win because they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, and good teams take your strengths away and exploit your weaknesses.
Coach, best of luck on Saturday night. It's a huge game. Is it in their place, or do you have them in Newton Falls?
At Newton Falls.
That joint will be jumping, or what fans can be allowed into the gym, and that just. I know how difficult it's coaching in this COVID world it could be. With you got to wear the mask all the time, and barking out instructions with the mask on your face at practice time. It had to have been just a weird atmosphere all year long, Coach.
It certainly has, but at least we're playing, and that's how I look at it. The kids have got a chance to play, and as different as it is, and as all the protocols and everything we've had to go through, I would do it again to make sure the kids have the opportunity to play. So hopefully it's back to normal next year, as close to normal as can be. But at least we're getting to play this year, and I'm very, very thankful for that.
Agreed wholeheartedly, and hopefully next year COVID's kicked to the curb, and we have standing room only crowds at Newton Falls and other great places to watch a basketball game.
For sure.
Coach, best of luck to you on Saturday night. We'll look forward to seeing you in the tournament trail, sir.
I appreciate it very much, Ron. Thank you.
All righty. Roy Sembach, he is the head basketball coach of the Newton Falls Tigers.